It appears we're agree on a couple of things. You're in the business of making leaders, and I'm sure you believe that leaders are readers, or readers are leaders. And I'm in the business to make the best readers in the world. I want to help people become the best readers of the world, and I do that through using acronyms. If you look behind me, the acronym is childhood. I'm currently reading Steve Jobs' book written by Walter Isaacson. And my goal is not just to read the 42 chapters, it is to be able to summarize what I learned from each one of the chapters. And that's my goal. And I do that by using acronyms. The acronym I'm using here is from the first chapter. So this first chapter is going to give me the acronyms I need to get me through the first 9 chapters. And so what I do is chapter 1, it's cabinets and custom houses. Cabinets that his dad made and custom house that he lived in or that were manufactured in his neighborhood is what inspired which kind of laid the groundwork for what he thought of design, what good design looked like. That's chapter 1. Chapter 2 is, I call it the hustler and the hardware. So in this chapter, him and Woz meet. They both attended Homestead High at different times, but someone connected the two of them together that started their partnership. One of the first products they did was a thing called a blue box that allowed them to make long distance phone calls. Wozniak built the box, and Steve Jobs was a hustler. He was the one who would sell it. And Steve Jobs was always, Woz was the guy, I just want to give it away. And Steve Jobs was like, no, we got to make this money. And that's chapter 2. Chapter 3, he went to Reed College. And one of the things he did that was very insensitive is that he did not want his parents to come on campus. He didn't want his parents to come on campus. So that was something very insensitive that he did. And also he was very, so that's one thing he did. And he ended up saying later that he regretted it. So that's one thing I remember from that chapter. Chapter 4, less chips, more money. Less chips, more money is how I remembered it. And part of it is being curious, looking for these particular words, but also being creative in how you use it. So it's an exercise in curiosity and creativity. Less chips, more money is how I remember this chapter. Steve Jobs got a job with Apple. And Nolan Bushnell, the owner of Apple, said, hey, I want you to make this game called Breakout. The less chips you use, the more money I'm going to give you. He goes to Woz, says, hey, Woz, I want you to build this game, and I'm going to split the money with you, 50-50. Fine. Woz builds a game in record time. He uses less chips. Steve Jobs pays him for it, but not the bonus. He didn't include a bonus. And so that's an interesting dynamic of their relationship. And so that's one thing I remember from chapter 4. Chapter 4. Chapter 5, where I'm at now, is the desktop computer design. Wozniak is the first person to design a desktop computer. And he did it, I believe it's January 6, 1929. January 29th, 1975. That's when he made the first desktop computer. And it was the first time that a computer and a keyboard, you could type and the letters would appear on the screen. He was the first person to do that. So that's what he's created. And during that time is when they formed Apple. And after that, he built the first Apple computer. And he wanted to sell it to HP. He was working for HP at the time. He demonstrated it to HP. And HP said no, they declined the offer. They said, no, we're not, we good. We're gonna stick to where we are. And then Wozniak says, okay, I'm all in on Apple, on the Apple computer being for Apple. So that's how they ended up going in business on the first Apple. Those are the first 5 chapters. What I'm trying to do is change the game. I was listening to a tech investor, very successful guy, and he says, I read 100 books a year. And I said, wow, that's very impressive. But is that the only game? Is the only game we're going to play reading the most books? And my thing is, why not be able to recall the most chapters? And that's what I'm offering your students. I'm saying, why not offer them something different? We all know what the current game is, and whatever you choose, but we don't have an option. So here's an option. To me, it's a mental workout. Like any other workout, knowing this information lowers my anxiety because when I'm reviewing, it's like it takes my mind off of my current problems. And it also, like any other workout, it lowers your anxiety and increases your self-confidence. Because I know I can walk in any room and anywhere in the world, and I know I'm the only person in there. I'm around a bunch of smart people, and we all read books. Yeah, but how many of them can recall what they remember from individual chapters? So it's just taking the mental game to a whole nother level. So that's what I'm offering. And the theme is read less, learn more. Read less, learn more.